All right, what's going on, everybody? My name is Deontay, but you guys can call me Emperor. As you can see, for today, we have a basic gameplay guide for Lancelot. I'll try to make this video in the same type of style that I did for my previous video with Siegfried, which means I'll go over what I currently have on Lancelot right now. And then after that, we'll get into how his gameplay works. And then after that, I'll go into his skills and how they all work together. And then I'll go over my recommendations for Sigils on Lancelot. And then we'll do the practice dummy just for like a little showcase. And then towards the end, we'll fight a boss. Likely the Fire Dragon again, because I like using them as a test subject. So let's go ahead and take a look at what I currently have for Lancelot. As you can see, for this Terminus weapon with the right stone, I am a little bit outdated with this because I don't have the, the tier level 20, then 15 and 10. I'll get all the right stones updated on the entire roster just before the DLC drops. I know that for a fact. But besides that, let's go ahead and go through the rest of the sigils. If you see my previous video with Lancelot in the past, you will see that this overmastery hasn't changed at all, and it's probably never going to change unless they make new roles with like different bonuses or something like that. Then no, this is never going to change. This will be permanent on him. All right, and just like I did with Siegfried, I'm going to change my weapon and change all my sigils so I have nothing on. Now then, to briefly explain how Lancelot works in this game, think of him as a sort of speedster. Like, he's really fast with his attacks, and then he's really versatile on field. And what I mean by that is, with his basic combo string, it's a few attacks and then he gets extremely fast, and that goes up to a second stage, as you can see here. So that would be his basic attack. But then you also see for his heavy, it's called the Twin Blade Dance. And you can think of this as like a really quick lunge, as you can see right here. So you can use this to close in on enemies, but you can also use it to get away from enemies by simply hitting back on the left stick. While locked on, you can evade away, and the same thing can be said if you go left and right. And another thing to say about the Twin Blade Dance, it actually counts as a second dodge. If timed correctly with your Twin Blade Dance, you can use it as a perfect dodge. As you can see right there, I get invincibility immediately. And as far as I know for that, I believe it also works with improved dodge and stuff like Nimble Onslaught, since it is technically a perfect dodge at the end of the day. Now, getting back to the basic attacks, you will see once you actually start the combo around like the first burst, you will see that you can get a combo finisher. And then it slams down. And although I'm pretty sure a lot of people just like to stand still and attack a lot, so even if it gets to the second stage, people usually stay like this until the enemy actually, gets prepared to attack them. But in my opinion, I like using the combo finisher more because of a certain sigil. The Warpath sigil for Lancelot, it helps a lot with that. So I tend to use my combo finisher a lot than just staying still. Now, let's go ahead and go to the skills right quick. Lancelot has a pretty good skill set going on. So I suppose what I'll do is go over each one individually. So before even going to all this, with the damage stuff, there's 3 of them. So this one, Turbulence, and then Southern Cross, they all can chain into that really fast combo string. And where I'm going with this is, you could technically just rotate around all 3 of those if you really wanted to. And that is typically my playstyle when I play on Lancelot. So this first skill, a damage skill, you can see that it's a really fast lunge, and it covers all distance. So most of the time, I use this whenever a boss is like not really targeting me or just like really far away, and I want to get started really fast. Like this one is really good for closing the distance, like within just a moment. And then you'll see right here this little debuff with Glaciate. You can see that it has a little bit of range on it. Not to mention this skill right here, you can hold it for a pretty long time. So most of the time I use it whenever a boss is about to go into overdrive, and I just freeze him there for a moment. So for like any game farming, this skill is like really good, because most of the time you want to get the most damage and stun as you can once the boss goes into overdrive. Lancelot also has a range skill that does a fair amount of damage. I don't use it that often. It can be activated a lot. So usually what I would do is, if a boss is using their overdrive ability and I can't really close in on them, I would usually just like spam this attack towards the start just to add on a little bit more damage. I don't really use this on my basic skill set, to be honest. Now, we have this buff right here that grants cemetery damage. Pretty much what cemetery damage is, if you hit an enemy once, that counts as multiple hits. So pretty much, if you don't have the sigils for cemetery damage, then yeah, you will want to have this on Lancelot at all times, because cemetery damage is really good on this character. It is extremely good because of how fast he attacks. Now, here's another damage one. Most of the time for this skill, I use it strictly for combo extending most of the time, but you can use this for dodging. So if like dragon type fights that have like a tail and they try to swipe you, you can technically just leap up in the sky with this and slam back down. Now then, Southern Cross, when you look at it on this preview, it doesn't look like a lot, but it does a lot of damage. Like, I'm pretty sure this is his highest damage skill. For these bottom two skills, they're really good buffs. As you can see for this one, it redistributes your Skybound Art gauge to your allies, which on Lancelot, if you have uplift pretty much maxed out, you gain your SBA really fast. So most of the time when I have this skill on, what I do is try to do as much hidden as I possibly can, and then I just redistribute every rotation from that. So yeah, for in-game stuff, if your team isn't really that good at generating SBA, then yeah, you would definitely want to have this skill on. And then for his final skill, that is really good as well. It grants mirror image, and it nullifies for a set number of hits. I'm not sure how many hits it is for a mirror image, because I haven't used it in a long time, especially on Lancelot. For finding new bosses, I would definitely recommend having this buff. So this right here is what I would usually have on. The only thing I would change from time to time is this bottom skill. The only thing I would change this bottom skill to is the one that redistributes to SBA. That's literally it. I don't use any other skills. Now let's go ahead and actually go to the practice dummy. Now, this is what a regular combo for me would look on Lancelot. That's if the enemy isn't really targeting me.
Stay focused. Checkmate. Surrender. Keep up. Stay focused. Parry this. Yield. Stay focused. Surrender. Checkmate. Too slow. Stay focused. Parry this.
As you can see, I'm just rotating around my three main damage skills, and that's pretty much all I do on Lancelot for my DPS. Now, before I actually show you how my damage is with my build on, I do want to go ahead and go to his bottom sigils right here, his Warpath and his Awakening stuff, so Oath and Glory. I have mentioned in my previous video with my guide on Siegfried that you don't really need a Warpath, but in this case, you would want to have all of these, if I'm being honest. Like, they're really good. Now, for what you want to get first would probably be Glory, because this one increases the damage on successive hits. You can obviously see that Lancelot hits a lot, so this boost goes up pretty fast. Now, the second one you would probably want after that is the Oath, because not really the damage dealt by the Twin Blade Dance, but the movement range. And this is usually what helps you get out of really bad situations if you can't block or dodge in time. or just want to be on the safe side, because that movement range added on when you use the twin blade dance, it counts for going left, right, forward, and back. Lastly, the Warpath Sigil. This one, as I explained earlier, that whenever he does a finisher or he does a perfect dodge via Whirlwind, and Whirlwind is basically the effect that happens when you perfect dodge with the twin blade dance, you get enhanced damage by 10% for 30 seconds. And obviously 30 whole seconds is a lot of time, because you can definitely get a perfect dodge again after that, or easily get another combo finisher, because it doesn't take long to actually land a combo finisher on this character. And I should also go over that improved dodge, uplift, and Nimble Onslaught are really good on Lancelot when it comes to damage and overall playstyle, because as I mentioned earlier with your SBA redistributing it, having on uplift is definitely a good thing to have on Lancelot if you have that skill on, especially because he does build it pretty efficiently. And then Nimble Onslaught, as I mentioned earlier with the twin blade dance, that this does count towards it as well, so you will also gain that invincibility for the add on 3 seconds, and then your SBA gain, and then your skill cooldown. The twin blade dance still counts for this, so my rotation would be the exact same. But because of cemetery damage, that builds up a lot.
Surrender. Southern Cross. Wide open. Stay focused.
And now it's really just keeping enhanced damage up when you have the Warpath on.
Keep up. You nailed. Stay focused.
And you can also see that my SBA builds up really fast as well, because it's already above 50%.
Away with you. Stay focused. You parry this. Checkmate. Appear. Surrender. Checkmate. Too slow. Stay focused.
And you can see right here, I already have my SBA.
You face the bite of the White Dragon. By Flugel.
And that would be a simple 30 million damage, and I rarely touch this character nowadays. Let's go ahead and show this on the Fire Dragon. Alright, let's go ahead and get this started. Now, you will see a lot of people utilize the twin blade dance just to gain distance, because it is very effective.
Wide open. Parry this. Checkmate.
I am going to take burn damage here, I figured. But we will just have to tank through it.
Surrender. Fall. Too slow. You parry this. Away with you. Surrender. Check. Wide open. Stay focused. You forward. You won't prevent.
Now he is about to overdrive in a moment.
They're growing desperate. Be on guard. Yeah. Southern Cross. Give it.
And as you can see right there, it does a fair amount of damage to the overdrive as well. This is very good.
Too slow. Checkmate. Victory is at hand.
Now what I'm going to do is save my SBA
Surrender.
for the next overdrive.
Wide open. Stay checked. this! Too slow. Surrender! Nay. Parry this! Vital! Stay focused! Fall! Give it! We've been growing desperate, upheld by fangs of gleaming ice! Honor will prevail! Hurry! You won't prevail!
Oh, that miss? Okay. Interesting.
Surrender! On guard! Away with you! Parry this! Check! Make too slow!
I'm just gonna take a little bit of that damage.
In one fell assault! Stay focused! Surrender!
There we go. Definitely could have played that a lot better, but I am absolutely rusty on Lancelot. I actually don't remember the last time I actually touched Lancelot in this game. So, I hope you all enjoyed that little guide I made for Lancelot. I believe I've already mentioned that I will be making guides on the entire roster, hopefully before the DLC actually drops on this game. So, I already have 2 out the way. As compared to the rest of the roster, there's only maybe 2 characters that I'm not that great with, and that's really it. Anyways, I'll catch you all later.